The smell hit me first, bitter almonds mixed with something chemical and wrong. I pushed open the bathroom door and saw her sprawled across the tile, foam crusting white at the corners of her mouth. Joy, my stepdaughter, 18 years old and barely breathing. Joy! I dropped to my knees, slapping her face, shaking her shoulders. Her skin felt cold, too cold, like she'd already started leaving. The empty bottle of rat poison sat on the sink edge, label facing out like an accusation. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I dialed for help. How long had she been here? How much time did we have left? The ambulance came fast, but every second felt stretched and terrible. Paramedics pushed past me, shouting words I couldn't process. They lifted her onto a stretcher, started pumping her chest, forced oxygen into her lungs. I climbed into the ambulance without asking permission, gripping her limp hand as sirens screamed through our neighborhood. "Madam, you be her mother?" the paramedic asked, still working. "Yes," I said. "Close enough. True enough." At the hospital, they wheeled her through double doors I couldn't follow past. A doctor in green scrubs turned back briefly. "We'll do everything we can." Then I was alone in a white corridor that smelled like disinfectant and fear, staring at my phone, knowing I had to make the call I dreaded most. Daniel answered on the third ring. "Grace, what is it?" "Your daughter swallowed poison. We're at St. Mary's Hospital." Silence stretched across the line. Then, "Is she dead?" "Not, is she all right?" "Not, I'm coming." Just that flat, cold question. "No," I said, my voice breaking, but she tried to be. He hung up without another word. I sat in that waiting room for 2 hours. Other families came and went. A woman wailing over bad news, a man dancing when his wife delivered safely. Life and death separated by nothing but thin walls and God's mercy. Daniel never came. When the doctor finally emerged, pulling off his gloves, he looked at me with something close to pity. "She'll survive. We pumped her stomach. But madam, this girl has been suffering for a long time. Tonight was just the final breaking point." I nodded because I knew I had watched it happen. "Can I see her? She's sedated. Come back tomorrow." I went home to an empty house. Daniel still wasn't there. I walked into Joy's room and stood in the doorway, looking at the space where a girl had been slowly disappearing. Worn textbooks from years ago, clothes that didn't fit anymore, and on her desk, a photograph. Her mother, radiant and smiling, holding baby Joy in her arms. That woman. The woman who died so this girl could live. "My name is Grace. I'm 41 now. I married Daniel Okafor 3 years ago when I was still hopeful about building a family, still naive enough to believe love could be simple. He told me his wife had died of cancer. He told me his daughter was quiet but sweet. He didn't tell me the truth, that grief had rotted his love into something cruel, and that I was marrying into a house where a child was slowly starving for the one thing she needed most. To understand how an 18-year-old girl chooses poison, you have to go back to the moment everything broke. Back to when she was 15. Joy was a bright girl, the kind who studied under streetlights when the power went out, who helped neighbours carry water without being asked. Her mother, Mercy, had been sick for 8 months. Kidney disease, the kind that quietly poisons your blood until there's nothing left to save. They tried everything. Dialysis, medications, prayers that echoed off church ceilings. Nothing worked. They needed a donor. Daniel tested first. Wrong match. They searched the family, posted on social media, waited on hospital lists. Nothing. Mercy was fading faster than hope could keep up. Joy insisted on getting tested even though she was only 15, even though the doctors warned them it was risky for someone so young. Perfect match. Mercy refused at first. "Not my baby," she told Daniel. "Find another way." But Joy begged. I wasn't there, but people told me later how she pleaded with her mother, tears streaming, voice breaking. "Mama, what kind of life can I have if you're not in it? Please, let me save you." So Mercy agreed. What else could she do when her daughter loved her that fiercely? The surgery happened on a Tuesday in June, 3 years before I ever met this family. Both of them went under the knife. Joy's healthy kidney went into her mother's failing body. For 2 weeks, it worked. Mercy smiled again, walked the hospital corridors, made plans for Joy's future. Then infection came like a thief. Mercy's body, already so weak, couldn't fight it. Within a week, she was gone. Joy woke up from surgery, missing 1 kidney and her entire world. She was 15 years old. At the funeral, people said Joy was so strong, so brave. They didn't see what I see now, looking back, a child standing beside her mother's grave, learning the cruelest lesson, that sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes you give everything and still lose. And Daniel? Daniel looked across that grave at his daughter, and something inside him twisted. Grief does strange things to people. It can make them reach for comfort or reach for blame. Daniel chose blame. In his shattered logic, Joy became the reason Mercy was dead. If Joy hadn't donated, they would have found another way. If Joy hadn't insisted, Mercy would still be alive. Never mind that doctors said Mercy had weeks left without the transplant. Never mind that Joy gave her mother 2 extra weeks of life and hope. Daniel stopped seeing truth. He only saw the girl who survived when his wife didn't. For 2 years after Mercy died, Joy lived in that house like a ghost. Daniel provided food, shelter, the bare minimum, but nothing else. No warmth, no conversation, no love. When Joy spoke, he left the room. When she asked for school supplies, he told her to manage. When her 16th birthday came, he went out drinking instead of coming home. Joy stopped celebrating birthdays after that. The neighbours noticed. That poor child lost both parents, they whispered, but nobody intervened. In our culture, you don't step into another man's house to tell him how to raise his daughter. Joy learned to disappear. She wore the same uniforms until they nearly fell apart. She studied under streetlights when there was no power because Daniel wouldn't buy her a lamp. She ate whatever was available and never complained. But here's the wicked part. Daniel wasn't poor. He owned a successful electronics shop. He bought drinks for friends, attended parties, dressed well. He just made sure Joy didn't. I met Daniel at my friend's shop 18 months after Mercy died. He was charming, generous, attentive. We dated for 4 months before he proposed. I said yes because I was 38 and tired of being alone, because he seemed stable and kind, because I thought I could build something good. He told me about his late wife. He told me about his daughter. Quiet, he said, no trouble at all. He didn't tell me she was quiet because she'd learned that speaking only brought coldness. He didn't tell me she was no trouble because she'd learned that needing anything brought rejection. I met Joy the day I moved in. She was 17 then, thin in a way that spoke of forgotten meals, with eyes that looked decades older than her face. She helped me unpack with careful politeness, then disappeared into her room. She's shy, Daniel said. That wasn't shyness, that was fear. For the first month I tried to be kind. Joy, come eat with us. What's your favorite food? Do you need anything for school? She always said no, always gave that small, sad smile, always retreated. I thought she needed time, that maybe she resented me for taking her mother's place. I understood that. I gave her space. But then I started seeing things I couldn't ignore. Joy's school shoes had holes worn through the soles. Her uniform was 2 sizes too small. Her bag was held together with tape. Meanwhile, Daniel bought himself new clothes every month. New phones, new watches. Shouldn't we get Joy some new school things? I asked him one evening. She's managing fine. But Daniel, her shoes. Grace. His voice went hard. Don't interfere with how I raised my daughter. I backed off. But I kept seeing. The way Joy ate, fast, like someone who wasn't sure there'd be food tomorrow. The way she moved, small, quiet, always apologizing with her body for taking up space. The way she flinched when Daniel raised his voice, even when he wasn't angry at her. One Sunday, Daniel's friend visited with his daughter, same age as Joy, laughing freely, dressed nicely. Daniel joked with her, asked about school, handed her money just for being there. I watched Joy watching from the kitchen doorway, her face naked with longing. She wanted that, her own father's attention, his affection, his acknowledgement that she existed. Instead, Daniel ignored her the entire afternoon. When the visitors left, he gave the girl 5,000 naira. Buy yourself something nice. Joy had mentioned to me the day before that she needed money for exam materials. She didn't ask her father. She'd learned better. That night I gave her money from my own purse. For your school things. Thank you, Ma. Her voice barely reached me. You can call me Auntie Grace. We're family now. She nodded, but said nothing. Family. What a hollow word in a house where she was treated like a burden to be endured. Months passed. I tried small interventions, hiding money in her room, buying necessities and claiming they were on sale, defending her when Daniel was particularly cruel. It wasn't enough. It was never enough. When Joy turned 18, Daniel didn't acknowledge it. I baked a cake, tried to make it special. He didn't come home until midnight. Joy and I cut the cake together while tears rolled down her face. "Mama used to make coconut cake," she whispered. "She said I was her greatest gift." I held her while she cried. First time she'd let me. "Your mother loved you very much." "Then why did Daddy stop?" I had no answer for that. How do you explain cruelty to someone drowning in it? Things escalated after Joy finished secondary school. She got admission to study biology at the University of Lagos. Excellent grades, merit-based. She'd applied in secret, using her principal as a guardian, somehow managing everything alone. When the admission letter came, she shook with hope and terror. "Auntie Grace, I got in," she said, showing me the letter. Do you think Daddy will be proud?" Even after everything, she still hoped for his love. That evening, she showed Daniel the letter. She'd practiced her speech, prepared her arguments. "Daddy, I got admission. Unilag. I can apply for student loans, work part-time." Daniel glanced at the letter and tossed it aside. "Who will pay? I can manage. I just need—" "You need nothing from me." "Daddy, please. Mama would have wanted—" "Don't you dare mention your mother." Daniel stood up, his face twisted. "Your mother died because of you, because of your stubbornness, and now you want university on her grave." Joy stumbled back. "Daddy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for Mama to die. Please don't hate me. Get out of my sight." She ran. I heard her door slam, heard her sobbing through the walls. Daniel sat back down and turned on the television like nothing had happened. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. How can you be so heartless? This is between me and my daughter. She's asking for a chance at life. She had her chance. She wasted it when she killed her mother. Mercy chose that surgery. She chose it because that stupid girl pushed her. Joy was 15 years old, a child trying to save her mother. Daniel stood up, his face dangerous. "Grace, stay out of this. Or what? You'll treat me like you treat her. That child killed my wife. Your wife died from infection, from bad luck. But instead of treasuring what Mercy left you, a beautiful girl who gave up her own body trying to save her mother, you're killing her spirit just like that infection killed Mercy." He grabbed his keys and left. Didn't come back for 3 days. When he returned, he acted like nothing happened. But the battle lines were drawn, him on one side, me and Joy on the other. Joy became quieter after that, more withdrawn. She stopped mentioning university, stopped mentioning dreams, stopped talking about anything that mattered. "Maybe I should leave," she told me one night. "Go to my mother's sister in the village. I'm causing problems between you and Daddy." "Don't you dare. This is your house." But nothing changes. No matter what I do, nothing changes. I tried to give her money for university. She refused. "I won't let you suffer because of me." That's when I should have seen it. The way she started giving away her things. The way she hugged me longer. The way she said thank you for every small thing like she was saying goodbye. But I was too focused on fighting Daniel to see Joy slipping away. The night she took the poison, Daniel and I had our worst fight. Joy had asked for transport money, 200 naira to go to a job interview. That's all. "Do I look like a bank?" Daniel said without looking up. "It's just 200 naira. I'll pay you back. If you have energy to beg, find a husband. At least you'll be someone else's problem." Joy's face crumbled. "Daddy, I'm your daughter." "Are you?" Sometimes I wonder. I saw those words hit Joy like bullets, saw something in her eyes go dark and final. "Daniel, apologize right now. For what? For speaking cruelty to your own child. Grace, this doesn't concern you. Everything about this girl concerns me." He stood up, grabbed his keys. "I don't have time for this." The door slammed. Joy had already disappeared. I went to my room, too angry to think straight. That was my mistake. I should have checked on her immediately, should have known those words were the final cut. 2 hours later, I went to her room. Knocked. No answer. That's when the fear hit. Cold and certain. I pushed open the bathroom door and found her on the floor, foam at her mouth, poison bottle empty beside her. Everything after that was sirens and panic and prayers to a God I hoped was listening. Now I sat in Joy's hospital room, watching her sleep, tubes in her arms, machines beeping their steady rhythms. The doctor said she'd survive, but surviving isn't living. What kind of life would she wake up to? Not the same one. Not if I could help it. Daniel finally showed up the next morning, strolling in casual like he was visiting a distant relative. How is she? Alive. No thanks to you. Grace, don't start. Don't start. Your daughter swallowed poison and you want me quiet? She's always been dramatic. I stood up, shaking with rage. You think this is drama? You think wanting to die is drama? Lower your voice. No, you need to hear this. You did this. You pushed her here. I did nothing. Exactly, you did nothing. For 3 years you starved that girl of love. You made her believe she killed her mother. You made her wish she'd never been born. Daniel's face hardened. Are you done? No, things are going to change, or Joy and I are leaving. He looked at me finally, really looked. You'd leave me for her? I'd leave you for basic human decency. Silence stretched between us. I could see something working behind his eyes, fear or shame or both. When Joy wakes up, I said quietly, she'll see either a father who loves her or a father who wishes she'd succeeded. Which one will it be? He didn't answer, just turned and walked out. If this story is touching your heart, please subscribe to this channel and share it. Comment below, what would you do in my position? Joy woke that evening. Sunset painted the room orange and gold. Her eyes opened, confused, then remembering. Auntie Grace? I'm here. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't anymore. I tried to be good, to be worthy, but nothing worked. And I thought maybe if I wasn't here... Shh, don't. Never again. But Daddy hates me. Then that's his failure, not yours. She looked at me with those ancient eyes. How do I live in a house where I'm not wanted? You won't have to. But Joy, promise me, never again. No matter how bad it gets. I promise. We held each other, stepmother and stepdaughter, choosing each other in a world that said we didn't have to. Later that night, Daniel came back. He stood at the door, looking at Joy like he was seeing her for the first time in 3 years. Joy. Daddy. Her hand tightened around mine. He stepped closer. The doctor said you tried to. Yes. Why? Such a simple question. Such a complicated answer. Joy took a breath. Because I couldn't make you love me, and I got tired of trying. Daniel flinched. Joy, You blamed me for Mama's death, I know, but Daddy, Mama was dying. The doctors said weeks, maybe a month. I knew what end-stage kidney failure meant. I wasn't stupid, so I begged her to let me try. And she said yes, because she wanted to live. She wanted to see me grow up. For 2 weeks, she was happy. She smiled, she laughed. And the night before she died, she held my hand and said, thank you for giving me more time. She didn't blame me. She thanked me. Daniel sank into the chair, his body shaking. I know. I was there. Then why do you blame me? Because I needed someone to blame. His voice broke. If it was your fault, then it made sense. I could be angry instead of broken, but anger was easier than accepting that sometimes people just die, and there's nothing anyone can do. Sivy with truth finally spoken. I'm sorry, Joy. I blamed you for something you didn't do. I punished you for loving your mother, and I almost lost you too. You did lose me, Daddy, 3 years ago. I know. Daniel moved closer, knelt beside her bed. But if you'll give me a chance, I want to find you again. I want to be your father, real father. Joy looked at him for a long moment. I want that too, but things have to change, really change. I can't go back to how it was. They will, whatever you need. I need you to see me, not as the reason Mama died, just as Joy, your daughter. I will. Every day I'll try. It wasn't a magical moment. No music, no dramatic tears. Just a broken father and a wounded daughter agreeing to build something new from ruins. I stepped outside to give them privacy, leaned against the corridor wall and cried, relief and exhaustion and hope mixing together. Joy stayed in the hospital for a week. Daniel came every day. At first the visits were awkward, long silences, careful words, but slowly they started talking, really talking. Daniel told Joy about those last days with Mercy, how scared he'd been, how helpless. Joy told Daniel about the 3 years, the loneliness, the shame. They both cried. They both asked forgiveness. When Joy was discharged, Daniel carried her bags, small thing, but it mattered. At home, changes started, slowly. Daniel asked Joy what she wanted for dinner, bought her new clothes, paid for her to see a therapist twice a week. Joy went to therapy. Talked about the grief, the guilt, the self-hatred. The therapist gave her medication for depression, coping strategies for dark days. We did family therapy too. All 3 of us, learning how to communicate without hurting each other. It wasn't smooth. Daniel still had days where he withdrew. Joy still had panic attacks, but we were trying. 3 months later, Daniel called Joy into the living room. About university. Joy's face went carefully blank. Daddy, it's okay. I've made peace. I want to pay for it. All of it. If you still want to go. Joy stared at him. You're serious? Biology, right? Like your mother wanted to study. She was in nursing school when she got pregnant with you, dropped out to raise you. She'd be so proud, and I should have been proud too. Joy started crying. Thank you, Daddy. Don't thank me. I'm just doing what I should have done 3 years ago. They hugged. Properly. Father and daughter. Something broken, slowly mending. Joy started university that September. We helped her move into the hostel. At the gate, Daniel held her shoulders. Call if you need anything, anything at all. I will. Your mother would be proud. I'm proud. You hear me? Joy hugged him tight. I love you, Daddy. I love you too. I'm sorry it took so long to show it. In the car driving home, Daniel took my hand. Thank you for not giving up on her. For not giving up on me. I squeezed back. That's what family does. Life got better after that. Not perfect, but better. Joy thrived at university, called every weekend about her classes, her friends, her future, came home during holidays, and Daniel made sure they were special. Birthday cakes, Christmas presents, movie nights where we laughed together. Daniel started volunteering at a grief support group, helping other parents not take their pain out on their children, turning his mistakes into lessons. Joy became an advocate for mental health on campus, spoke openly about her suicide attempt, about depression, about feeling worthless, helped other struggling students, turned pain into purpose. 1 year later, we visited Mercy's grave together. We hadn't been since the funeral. Joy read a letter aloud. Dear Mama, I'm okay now. I'm in university, studying what you never got to finish. I'm sorry I tried to leave, but I'm still here, still fighting. Daddy came back to me, and Auntie Grace, she's amazing. She's not trying to be you, she's just herself. And that's what I needed. I hope you're proud. I hope you know the kidney I gave you wasn't wasted. Those 2 weeks mattered. I love you, Mama. Always. We cried together at that grave, finally at peace. Daniel spoke next. Mercy, I'm sorry I failed our daughter, but I'm trying to be better. Watch over us. Then me. Mercy, we never met, but I know you through Joy. I'm taking care of her, not replacing you, but loving her. Your daughter is safe. We left flowers and walked back together. A family, imperfect, wounded but whole. That night, Joy came to my room. Auntie Grace, you didn't have to take on the mess you found in this house, but you did. You chose me when it was hard. I don't just see you as my stepmother anymore. I see you as my mother. Is that okay? Tears blurred my vision. It's an honor. Thank you, Mom. Mom, such a simple word, such a sacred one. 3 years have passed now. Joy is finishing her degree, preparing for medical school. Daniel is her biggest supporter, attending her presentations, bragging about her achievements, being the father she always deserved. Joy still sees her therapist monthly, still has hard days, but she has tools now. Support. Love. Daniel and I renewed our vows last year. Joy stood as my maid of honor. Daniel said in his vows, "You made me better. You showed me how to love my daughter again." I said, I married you and inherited a daughter who taught me what real family means. Now, when people ask about being a stepmother, I tell them the truth. It's not about replacing anyone. It's about showing up, seeing the invisible child and choosing to make them visible. Standing in the gap even when nobody thanks you. Joy had a mother who died for her. A father who almost lost her before finding his way back. And me, the woman who married into her pain and chose to stay. I didn't erase Joy's pain. I can't bring back her mother. I can't undo the suffering, but I stood inside it with her, held her hand through darkness, fought for her right to be loved. And now Joy stands in her own light, bright, alive. She texts me, "Mom, passed my finals, top of my class. Mama would be proud. Daddy is proud. I'm proud of me. Thank you for saving my life. I love you." I read that text and cry every time. This is why I stayed, why I fought. Because every child deserves to know they matter. Every child deserves a champion. If you're still here, thank you for listening to Joy's story. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video. If you've ever felt invisible, leave a comment. You're not alone. And don't forget to like this video so these stories can reach people who need them. Joy almost died 3 years ago, but she didn't. She lived. She's living. If you feel like Joy felt, invisible, unwanted, like the world would be better without you, please hear me. You matter. The pain is real but not permanent. It gets better. Reach out, tell someone, fight for yourself, find your person. Don't give up, because your story isn't finished. Your best chapters haven't been written yet. I married Daniel thinking I was getting a husband. Instead, I got a daughter. A broken family that needed healing, a purpose bigger than myself. I married my husband, not his daughter's pain, but I chose to walk through that pain with her anyway. And on the other side, we found something beautiful. Love. Real, chosen, fought for love. Joy calls me Mom now. Daniel calls me his hero, but I'm not a hero. I'm just a woman who saw a girl drowning and refused to look away. Sometimes that's all it takes. One person, one choice, one voice saying, you matter, you're worth fighting for. Be that person for someone. Be that voice. Because somewhere there's another Joy, another child believing they're a burden. See them, fight for them, love them. Joy is alive because I chose to see her, to fight for her, to love her when her own father couldn't. If I could do it again, knowing how hard it would be, I would still choose her. Every time, because she's worth it. Every child is worth it, every single one.